Hello guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you 3 different ways that you can make your car speakers sound a lot better. So let's get started with number 1. Number 1, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be tightening down all of the screws in your car, and especially the ones that hold the speakers in. Now this might sound like something that wouldn't really do anything, but if you have any rattles or if your speakers rattle whenever there's bass in the song, then tightening down those screws can actually stop the rattling and make them sound a lot better. If you guys have never opened up your panels to see your speakers, let me show you guys what it looks like. So for my car, it is super simple. It's just 2 screws right here, and this opens up to the front speakers. So as we get this opened up, you can see, as I was saying, after we got this opened up, you can see that the speaker is right here, and you have exposed screws right here, where all you have to do is put your screwdriver to it and tighten all of these down. Now I've already done this several times, so mine are all very tight. But if you're having some rattling or some noises coming from the area of your speakers, maybe you just need to tighten some things up. In a lot of cars, it's not as simple as 2 screws and pulling the panel off. Usually you have to pull the whole door panel off, which is not the easiest job, but there are videos on YouTube for pretty much any car you need. So if you just look up your car and how to remove the door panel, then you can do that, and that's how you access your speaker, where you can tighten down those screws. Now, as well as just the speaker screws, you can also tighten down any other exposed screws that are in your car. So for a Jeep Wrangler, there are a lot of exposed screws where if it's loose, it might rattle. So if you tighten down all those loose screws, you're gonna make everything all tight and not rattle anymore. Now, while we are on the topic of tightening screws down and things rattling, whenever you have your door panel off, for those of you who have your speakers in your door panel, which is most cars, make sure there's nothing loose behind there. There's a lot of plastic clips that can get loose very easily. My last car, I had to take off the door panels a few times because there's always those clips that would come off and they would get stuck behind the plastic and start shaking whenever the speakers were up loud. So my point in this is to make sure everything is tightened down and make sure there's no loose plastics or anything else that are shaking around, causing a rattle, making the speakers sound worse. Now moving on to number 2, the second thing that I want to tell you guys is to use sound deadening. Now sound deadening, as you might know, it deadens the sound, but if you put this stuff on the inside of your door panels, on the inside of the speaker covers, and on the back side of the speakers, behind the speakers, can actually make the sound go out in your car instead of getting trapped behind any panels. On this panel right here, I have sound deadening right there, and this goes on this side of the speaker just like that. So the idea is that the sound doesn't resonate through this plastic, but instead it stays in and goes out. Now what is also good about sound deadening is that if you put it all over the floors, like in my Jeep I have it on the floors and anywhere else I could find, that makes the ride quieter. So if you have sound deadening, then that makes the ride quieter when you're driving. So whenever your ride is quieter, it means that you don't have to turn your speakers up as loud. And when you don't need your speakers up as loud, it means that there's not as much strain on the speakers, which leads them to sounding a lot better. Finally, the third thing that I want to share with you guys is to add Polyfill behind your speakers. Now, what is Polyfill? Well, Polyfill is basically the filling that you put in stuffed animals, but if you use it with your speakers, you take your speaker out, you fill the hole with Polyfill, and you put your speaker back in. This actually kind of captures and muffles the sound a little bit so it doesn't resonate throughout the interior panel, whatever your speaker is in. So because it's going to prevent it from resonating on the inside of those panels, it's going to make your sound quality seem a lot better. And this stuff is actually super cheap. You can go on Amazon and get a pretty big bag for a couple dollars. So I definitely suggest that as one of the first things you try is get a little bag of Polyfill, take your speakers out, put some Polyfill behind there, and then put your speakers back in, and then tighten down those screws real tight. Now, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you want to see some more videos, I made a whole playlist of this awesome solo road trip to Colorado that I did. So go ahead and click that. It's going to be down in the description and at the end of this video. So go ahead and watch those. They're really cool videos. I'm really proud about how they turned out. And other than that, just subscribe to the channel and leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.